This was a vastly improved Oxford United performance, but it's still another loss. Hello everybody, it's Ian here once again from OUFC Fan View. It's time for another review of another Oxford United game. Today, the failing and stumbling League One campaign for Oxford United rolled to the toughest place they could probably go. They were away against top of the table Portsmouth. Last weekend was a horrible performance and a horrible result against Leyton Orient, which left Oxford United's season in tatters, really, which is a strange statement with 11 games to go. That's the way it really felt. You can see my video in the top corner of how I felt after that game, but definitely angry, definitely frustrated, and really disillusioned with a lot of things that's going on, with question marks over the club in general and certainly the manager and the players. And you looked at this fixture today, really dreading a game against the league leaders. You're wondering what was going to be left of Oxford United after today's performance. But a week is a long time in football, and Oxford certainly regrouped and regathered, and they were a different animal today, and they played really well for large periods of this game, but they still came away with a defeat. And credit to Portsmouth, that is the stuff of champions, of getting those results when you're not at your best, because it is another win for Pompey as they seemingly march towards automatic promotion. It ended Portsmouth 2, Oxford United 1. But Oxford deserves something from this game, and even the most hardened Portsmouth fan would probably be gracious enough to accept that. But we will go over everything. We'll go over the team news, we'll go over the game, and I'll give my final thoughts for both sides at the end of the video. Please feel free to jump to any part of the video if you wish, but if you do that, please hit that like button, because that really does help me try and get this video out to more people. And if you do like the content, consider subscribing. So let's go over the team news, starting with Oxford United. And the skipper is back. Great to see Elliot Moore back in the heart of this defence. But there's also a return for Finn Stevens, who is playing his first game since this reverse fixture against Portsmouth at the end of January. Marcus McGuane is also back in midfield, and Owen Dale starts on the right wing. Lots of fans will be happy at scapegoat Sam Long missing due to illness. Tyler Goodrum is also out with a slight knock. Stefan Negru and Jay Matete are also not playing from that loss against Leyton Orient. Matete does at least make the bench. Will Goodwin still can't get a start ahead of Mark Harris. And again, there is no Tyler Bure on the bench. And that does leave me a little worried, but that does leave me surprised, as certainly as players like James Henry getting in ahead of him. Moving on to Portsmouth, and Pompey continue to lead the way in Sky Bet League One, and John Massinio's side almost seem a much improved side, even from the one that drew 2-2 at the Kassam Stadium at the end of January. It's 4 wins and a draw since the last time these two sides met, but it was a 0-0 draw last time out for Pompey away at Charlton. They've made one change from that side. Miles Peart-Harris comes in for Owen Moxon. Callum Llang, who scored on his debut against Oxford, starts in starts as one of the three, behind the prolific Colby Bishop. It is a very daunting Portsmouth lineup, but it is also important to remember they do have, I think it's 9 players out injured. So what strength in depth that John Massinio is able to bring in this term, and but still shows you how much better this Portsmouth side could be. And really, you looked at it, and of all the kind of licking our wounds we've had this week from an Oxford United point of view, you were thinking that Oxford would either have to be very good or very lucky to come away from Fratton Park with anything. So let's move into this game, and it didn't look like Oxford were going to be very good or very lucky, because Portsmouth took the lead in 2 minutes, and it was another horror show of a goal for Oxford United to concede. It actually came from a free kick, which was poorly played and went out for a throw-in to Portsmouth. They took it quickly, got the ball forward. It was a nice little interchange between Bishop and Kamara. They got Llang into space on the edge of the box. He hit a shot. It was straight at Jamie Cumming, I don't know how Jamie Cumming's done it, but he's had an absolute howler. He's just spilt it into the back of the net. Portsmouth 1-0 up, a disaster for Oxford United, and they sensed blood in the water, and they could have gone 2-0 up as early as the 4th minute. There were balls into the box. There were a header by Shaughnessy where he nearly scored from a free kick from a header, and Oxford looked very wobbly. But they got back level. 6 minutes on the clock. Portsmouth evened it up in terms of errors. They gave away the ball to Mark Harris, and he laid it off to Owen Dale, and he just got ahead. He just got a touch on the ball ahead of the Portsmouth defender. He was scythed down, hacked down, blatant penalty all day long. Cameron Brannagan doesn't miss from the spot. Well, he did against Wycombe, but we won't mention that. He didn't miss here. And Oxford were back at 1-1. This game was fast and it was frantic, and both sides were coming forward and creating chances. A rare mistake from Cameron Brannagan, who was slack in possession, but it wasn't a great ball played to him either, and Portsmouth were able to get forward with Marlon Pack. He played a lovely disguised ball into Colby Bishop, whose first shot was blocked by Elliot Moore, who did really well, but the ball came back to Bishop. He got a strike at goal, and Jamie Cumming actually did well this time and clawed it behind for a corner. But Oxford had another chance just 3 minutes later. Oxford won a second ball high up the pitch again. Harris in tons of space, about 25 yards out. Harris takes a curling effort. He has Norris beaten, but it hits the post and goes out to Murphy, and he can only put the chance wide. Just a minute later, though, when Oxford probably put their best move together from open play, with Rodriguez playing in Dale down the left-hand side. He hit a very nice low cross right across the penalty area. It came to Finn Stevens on the edge of the box. It was a good effort from Stephen, but it was well beaten away by Norris. The game did settle down a little bit after about 20 minutes, but it was refreshing to see Oxford United move the ball around with more purpose and more energy than we've seen maybe since Des Buckingham has taken over. Portsmouth were forcing them to play quickly, but Oxford were playing quickly and playing very nicely, and they were breaking through the lines in open play as well as on the counter-attack. Dale got into good areas. Dale was very good today. He got into a good area on the edge of the box, and for a moment it looked like he'd wrong-footed Norris with his shot, but the Portsmouth keeper got down to make a good save. I thought Dale could have had a little bit more conviction on his shot. That was probably the only thing missing from his game today, was just that final product. As much as I'm big in Oxford up, you have to remember Portsmouth are a very good side, and they were a threat, and whenever they would come forward, they would try and get the ball into the box, and they looked dangerous from wide areas. And they also had willing runners driving through the midfield as well. Peart Harris being one of them on this occasion. On 42 minutes, he got to the edge of the box, just bundled over on the edge of the box. It was one of those moments where you're just hoping the referee wasn't going to give the penalty. Marlon Pack, though, with a chance to score from the free kick. He's got previous against Oxford from this sort of area. It was a low shot, but it was straight at Jamie Cumming. And that was the last action, really, of the first half, 1-1. And from an Oxford point of view, this was a massive improvement from what we've seen recently. And after going 1-0 down so early in the game, I thought they showed really real quality and real character to come back into this one. Oxford, again, looked dangerous from open play and looked dangerous on the counter-attack, with Murphy and Harris all being willing runners and good outlets in flowing moves going forward. But you always thought Portsmouth looked a threat as well. When they get the ball wide, they look to bombard the ball into the box, trying to get those chances for Colby Bishop, but they've also got those dangerous players picking the ball up in the midfield as well, like Callum Llang, for example, who got the goal, and like Marlon Pack as well. You also feared that Portsmouth might nick a goal from a set piece as well. They just looked more dangerous at those sort of areas than Oxford United did. But big improvement, and, Jamie Cumming made a mistake, but was generally pretty good after that mistake as well. So far, so good, but it is only level at the break. But Oxford did start this second half well, and Oxford played well for the majority of this second half. 50 minutes on the clock. Ruben Rodriguez played it off to Murphy on the left-hand side. His first effort was blocked, but his second effort hits the outside of the post. It was like a curling effort with the right foot first time round for Murphy. Then he gets it on his left, and he just swings the old left peg. Norris would have been beaten, I think, but it did hit the post. 55 minutes, Marlon Pack bursting through the midfield. He plays it to Paddy Lane in the area. It looked like Paddy Lane had turned away from Finn Stevens, but Elliot Moore got back to make a vital challenge to get the ball back to Jamie Cummings. Oxford were continuing to play well on 65 minutes. Another excellent counter-attack, and Murphy got clear again down the left-hand side, but his cross was just behind Mark Harris. It came to Dale on the edge of the box, and his shot was blocked by a Portsmouth player, and it looked like it was going to fall brilliantly, perfectly for Cameron Brannagan, but another Herculean block from a Portsmouth defender kept Oxford at bay. And you were just thinking, in my mind, I was thinking, we've got to put one of these chances away because Portsmouth are going to get a chance. And 2 minutes later, they got the decisive goal in this game. And again, it came really out of nothing. It was a ball across from Murphy on the left-hand side, which looked like it was bouncing out for a goal kick. It hit the corner flag and stayed in the quadrant. And Portsmouth scored from this. They played a ball forward. Elliot Moore committed a foul. A ball came back and maybe to Marlon Pack in midfield. Referee played a good advantage. He played it forward to Saydee, who was one-on-one with Brown. He got round Brown. He was through on goal. Calmly finished it past Jamie Cumming. And Portsmouth, who didn't look like they were looked like they were second best to Oxford United, but they got themselves in front. And Oxford pushed for the equaliser, but I don't think they were as good when it was 2-1 in the game. I thought Portsmouth were, well, I don't say they were the better side, but they controlled the game a lot better when they had their noses in front. Their best Oxford came really on 76 minutes. There was another wicked effort from Josh Murphy, which Norris did very well to beat it away. Again, it came out to Owen Dale. His shot was deflected, nearly going in, but went behind from a corner. And then from that corner, Elliot Moore gets his head on one, but it wasn't the most powerful of headers, and there were a lot of Portsmouth players there to smuggle it away on the line. Oxford made changes, but I don't think the changes really made us better, and we didn't really create a real clear-cut chance after that. And Portsmouth get the job done. And again, what I can say about them is full credit to them, Pompey fans. That is the stuff of champions, isn't it? And that brings me on to my final thoughts. And we will start with the home side, and that is Portsmouth. And again, I think you, as a Portsmouth fan, you'd admit to say you weren't great today, and you maybe didn't deserve the win, but you got the win. And I think you've done that quite a few times this season. And it is an amazing, a brilliant ability to have, to be able to score those goals and get those decisive winners and stay in games and just create a chance and obviously put it away. And credit to John Mousinho. That side is very combative. They did a lot of the ugly stuff well today. There's a lot of good chances Oxford had, and I thought Norris had a good game. Those defenders made some good blocks in there as well, but they still did look dangerous at times. Not so much in the second half, but in the first half they certainly did. But they were decisive, and the change that John Mousinho made got the winning goal in the game. You win in League One, you look like you're going to win League One, and you're winning games, and you can play a hell of a lot better. I can't give you much more praise than that. You've got players that were going to come back and make you stronger. I'm very, very jealous and disappointed because everything, when Portsmouth get it right, what a fantastic football club. From the fans, from the stadium, the atmosphere that Fratton Park creates, the way that the fans were with that side, even though they were digging in at the end, the fans were singing all the way through. And just got to say good luck to you. It looks like you're going to be in the Championship next season. I'll be very surprised if we join you in the Championship. But it's been a long journey for you to get back there. You nearly getting the job done. Good luck for the rest of the season. And I think you're going to do it. But let me know, Portsmouth fans. Let me know your comments down below. Let me heap your praise on ex-Oxford United's John Mousinho as we think about the coach that slipped through our fingers. But we will move on to Oxford United now. Feel a lot more encouraged about Oxford United than I did at the same stage last week, both on and off the field. I thought there's been some decent news with regards to the stadium, and I think that the players and, well, I'd say the manager, but I think the manager's put the players out there. And the players have really shown today. They've really responded and they've put in a good shift. We are not getting the rub of the green so much at the moment. You can't legislate for those things that happen, like Jamie Cumming inexplicably just dropping the ball into the back of the net. What can you do? But Oxford did play well from that point, and they moved the ball so much better with so much more purpose. Murphy and Dale were excellent on the wings today. I thought Harris's hold-up play was superb, and I thought that generally that was probably the best Ruben Rodriguez performance for a while. What was worrying for me is the subs kind of made us worse, I thought. I don't think Will Goodwin came on and had a good impact, and that leaves me worried as to where we go with him. And I don't think that Billy Bowden came on. Billy Bowden came on and made a couple of nice touches, to be fair to him. But James Henry, he came on late. I mean, again, wouldn't it have been nice to have a Tyler Bure to come on? Maybe you could have brought Matete on. Maybe he would have added more energy to the side. But good to see Finn Stevens back. Good to see Elliot Moore back. Generally, Oxford just looked more composed and more solid. But here is the truth of the matter. It's another defeat. And it leaves us in a worse position for trying to get back into the playoffs. We've got 10 games to go, 30 points to play for. And you're just hoping that that level of performance is the level of performance that we take forward now into every single game that comes. Because that's a team you can get behind. That's a team you can enjoy watching. That's a team you can be proud of. And I was proud of Oxford today. I thought they put in an excellent effort against the league leaders and pushed them back on their own patch for large periods of this game. We just could not get that second goal. But that's another thing, a bugbear that's been a problem for Oxford United for a number of seasons. Going back to Carl Robinson days, we don't seem to be able to get those marquee wins against the top sides, home or away from home. We can put in good performances, but we rarely beat them. We beat Barnsley, we beat Derby early on in the season, so I thought this season might be different, but it's not proving to be the case. But this will come down to whether you're, I guess, a glass half full or a glass half empty kind of person. And if you're a glass half empty kind of person, you're probably going to look at the another defeat, another if, buts and maybe story, and more slack defending that gave, Portsmouth the win. But I'm going to choose to look at the positives, and I'm going to choose to look at the fact that Mark Harris, he might not be scoring goals, but he seems to be involved with every goal that we score. He played it on a plate for the penalty today. Last weekend he was involved in the goal, and I think generally his hard work and his effort is fantastic up front, and I think he's doing an excellent job up there. I think we saw what Owen Dale can bring to an Oxford United side today. I thought he may not have the lightning pace, but he's very quick-footed, a very intelligent player, and he makes a big difference to Oxford United going forward. Josh Murphy is in a very good purple patch at the moment, and that needs to continue. He looks like he's got the bit between his teeth, and he looks like he can cause problems, but we just need more clinical and decisive play from these guys, and need a step up from Ruben Rodriguez today. I thought he was better, but he needs to improve. I thought the Brannagan and McGuane duo in that midfield looked like it was back to somewhere near its best. But this was against Portsmouth. This was against a Portsmouth side that came onto us and tried to play football. Next weekend will be very different when we play Cheltenham. They will probably sit off in a low block. They'll try and hit us on the counter-attack. They'll try and get some offset pieces. They got Matt Taylor, who's got a point to prove as well. So it's going to be a very difficult game at the Kassam Stadium, and a very different game. And you're just hoping that Oxford can play with that same purpose and that same energy. And you feel that we should be able to go on and win that game next weekend. But this has got to be the start of something. This performance has then got to go in to results next weekend, starting next weekend. And it has to be next weekend. We can't draw it. We can't lose it. I feel like it is a must-win game, even though points-wise it clearly isn't. And there still is a lot to play for in this league. And we've still got to play Stevenage. We've still got to play Peterborough. And again, if we've got that sort of performance, I think we got a good chance of picking up points against those sides. But again, it's ifs, buts and maybes, and they've got to actually do it on the pitch themselves. I am concerned about the Tyler Bure situation. I feel that if you've got a problem with him, okay, that's one thing, but he surely is going to make a difference. More of a difference today in this game. It's worth throwing him on rather than James Henry. And I know James Henry got the equaliser against Portsmouth. Good servant, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de. But surely Tyler Bure is going to offer a bit more punch to this Oxford United side against a tiring Portsmouth defence. But that will be something that is discussed, no doubt, in the comments, and that will be no doubt something that's used as a stick to bash Des Buckingham with. Interestingly enough, Liam Manning not doing a very good job at Bristol City. Very similar record to Des Buckingham in terms of the games win percentage and games played, and a lot of Bristol City fans disappointed with the style of football that he is playing. So there you go. I'm interested to know your comments on this one. I would be interested to know if you're still really angry after this game, because I'm not. I'm actually looking forward to the next Oxford game now, which I definitely wasn't last weekend, and so that's a big improvement on itself. Small little steps. Let's keep taking them. But yeah, leave your comments like you normally do, and thank you very much for leaving all the comments and for the support you give this channel. I really do appreciate it. I really needed it last week, and the comments that you guys left helped me out a lot, because there were times after that game where I was genuinely thinking, do I want to carry on doing this? Because it was really depressing. But your comments and your words and your funny comments and messages, and even the ones that were like bucking them out, got me through it. So thank you. And we'll be back to do a review of the Cheltenham game. And if we lose that one, who knows? I might be back to how I felt after the Leyton Orient game. But there you go. Enjoy your weekend. See you soon.